Everybody, Mr. Morel, we're going to do homework assignment 10.2. I know, calm your horses. You're so excited that we're going to do this math stuff. All right, so question 1, we're just going to define what it means to be perpendicular. So, two lines are considered to be perpendicular if they intersect at a right angle. Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. Sorry, that's hard to read. Reciprocal is spelled R-E-C-I-P-R-O-C-A-L. Reciprocal. Alright, so if you remember in the last homework assignment, we had to basically say what the slope would be of a parallel line, and you kind of thought that I was stupid because we were just rewriting the slope of the original equation. Well, we're going to be doing the same thing here, only instead of writing the same slope, what we need to do is write the opposite reciprocal slope. So that's going to help us practice a little bit. So, for example, here's the slope of an original line, 2. The opposite reciprocal slope means we need to do two things. The first thing we're going to do is we need to make sure that the slope is written as a fraction. So 2 over 1 would be great. So an opposite reciprocal means that we flip the numerator and the denominator. We're going to swap those two things. So 1/2. And the opposite part means we need the opposite sign. So before our slope was a positive 2, and our perpendicular slope is going to be a negative 1/2. Okay, so let's go to number 3. Number 3 is already written as a fraction, which is great, so it's 1/4. So I'm going to swap the top and the bottom, so that could be written as 4 over 1, or, as we all know, that is the same as 4. And then it was a positive 1/4, and so we're going to make it a negative 4. All right, question 4. Here's our slope right here. It's a negative 3, or a negative 3 over 1. Okay, so first thing we need to do is we want to flip the numerator and the denominator. So we're going to make that a 1 over 3. And it was a negative slope before, so we need to keep it a positive slope this time. All right, and then very similar to our parallel lines assignment, we're going to be doing 3 different things on this part of the level 2 stuff. So the first thing we need to do is we need to graph 2/7x plus 2. And if I remember right, that is even the same line that we had in our last homework assignment. And it looked a little bit like this. Yeah. Now, we need to draw a perpendicular line that passes through the point negative 2, 3. So first thing I want to do is I want to go find, why don't I just do this in a different color? The point negative 2, 3 is up here because it's back 2, up 3. And I know that's tricky. When we deal with slopes, we always go up or down first and then over. But when we graph an ordered pair, we always go over first, or I guess in this example we went back 2 and up 3. I know that's confusing. We just have to practice it over and over and over. Okay, so I put my dot there, which is amazingly drawn, I'm sure you can see. And then I need to do my perpendicular slope. So if my slope was a 2/7 before, my perpendicular slope is going to be a negative 7/2. And you get to choose where this negative goes. Do you want the negative with the 7? Do you want it with the 2? Either way, you choose. Okay, so I am going to, from this point here, I need to go down 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and then over 2. Where was I? Here. And then over 2. It's going to give me another dot right there. Okay, and you could go up 7 and back 2, and that's going to be a little bit off the graph right there. But you've got the right idea that this is going to be like that. As long as we get our slopes right, we know our lines are going to be perpendicular. They're going to create this right angle like that. So now we need to write the equation of our new line. Well, we already know that the slope is negative 7/2. So we'll put our x there because that's going to show us that's what our slope is. And then it looks like, if I'm seeing this correctly, the y-intercept is right there at -4. Okay, let's come down here. So our original line is -5 is our y-intercept right there. Up 1/4 goes like that. Ish. It's really tricky to do this on the iPad. And we need to now find this point. So remember, the point -1, +1 is going to go back 1 and up 1, because here's our x-axis and our x value is -1, our y-axis and our y value. Okay, so -1, 1 is right there. And then we need to figure out what our new slope is going to be. So our new slope is going to be, well, 1/4, the perpendicular is going to be a -4, because I swapped the top and the bottom numbers. And then it was a +1/4, so it needs to become a -4. A -4, if it helps you to have this one, is great. It means that we're going to go down 4 to the right 1. So from this point, I need to go down 4 and to the right 1, and I think that gets me that point. Down 4 to the right 1. Or maybe we go up 4 and back 1. Something like that. And we get our perpendicular line. So our equation is going to be y equals -4. You could put -4/1 if you prefer. X. And then it looks like we are crossing at -3. We're crossing the y-axis at -3 right there. All right, on to the next page. Woo! I think I'm doing, yes. So now, once again, kind of like we did in the last video, we're going to use our point-slope form equation, which is y equals m parentheses x minus x1 parentheses plus y1. The only difference here is instead of using the same slope like we did in our last video, we need to find the the opposite reciprocal slope. So here we're going to have y equals, all right, the opposite reciprocal of 1/2 is going to be -2. And then we're going to have x minus -6 plus 2. All right, let me go ahead and distribute, but before I can really distribute, I've got to take care of that subtraction sign. And so instead of x minus -6, it'll be x plus a +6. And then I can distribute. So -2x plus -12 plus 2. Let's put these two like terms together. So -2x plus -10. Or you could just write -10. That's okay too. I would take either way. All right, over here for question 11. Same idea. Y equals, okay, the opposite reciprocal of -5/3 is going to be a +3/5. X minus, our x value is 5. I'm getting that from the ordered pair right here. And then I'm going to do +4 at the end of that. And I want to distribute, but before I can distribute, let me change those couple of things there. So we're going to get 3/5 x plus 3/5 times -5 is going to be -3, and then +4. Combine these two like terms here, and our final answer is 3/5 x. -3 plus 4 is a +1. Oh, so great. So dang great. Okay. Let's do question 13. So y equals the opposite reciprocal of, sorry, you might be, I have this iPad on my blanket, and it's a very soft blanket, but it might be making weird noises on the microphone. Sorry. Okay, the opposite reciprocal of -3 is going to be a +1/3. then is going to be x minus negative 2 and plus 6. So x minus, our x value is negative 2 plus 6. Before I can distribute, I need to keep change. So keep the x, change the minus to a plus, change the negative to a positive. So I get 1/3 x. Let's see, 1/3 times 2 in my calculator is 2/3 plus 6. I'm going to combine like terms. I'm going to not use my calculator. I'm going to show you. Okay, so 6 is going to be the same as 18 thirds. So 18 thirds plus 2/3. Okay, so y equals 1/3 x plus 20 thirds. All right. Same thing, same hint that I gave on the last homework assignment. We're going to do the same thing down here, y equals, but this time I'm not just giving you your slope so easily. You have to figure out your slope by solving for y. You've got to get y all by itself first. That will give you your current slope. All right, I will talk to you cool people later. Make good choices.